Okay, so this is a video from a homework problem in 7.5. I call them a travel problem. It's one of the rate times time equals distance. Now I would have two videos that I was going to do from the homework. Students had questions and they wanted to see it. And I know these are a little tricky, so here's one of them. So Mary takes a sightseeing tour on a helicopter that can fly 370 miles. Now notice that that's miles, not miles per hour. This is a distance, d, against a 15 mile per hour headwind. In the same amount of time, it can travel 486 miles with a 15 mile per hour tailwind. Find the speed of the helicopter. All right, we'll call the speed of the helicopter x. So that's what we're looking for. So most of the time in these travel problems, I set up a chart. And there's usually two situations going on. I'll just write it like that. Rate times time equals distance. That is true. You know, rate times time equals distance. That's a formula that we have that we know. Now, two things are happening with Mary on her tour. One case, she's going with a headwind, okay, against the wind. It's blowing at her, so it's slowing her down. So it's going to be her rate in the helicopter minus the 15 mile per hour wind, because it's a headwind. It's blowing at you. You can't see me, but it's blowing against you. So it's slowing you down. A headwind slows you down. A tailwind, that's pushing you. That's, okay, where's the helicopter? Here's a helicopter. Use your imagination. Okay, anyway, there's a helicopter. When it's a wind that's blowing at you, that's going to slow you down. So subtract the headwind. But if it's a tailwind, it's blowing this way, it's helping you, it's pushing you. So it's add the tailwind. Okay, it's similar to the current going upstream and downstream. You're going upstream, it's pushing against you, it's slowing you down. If you're going downstream, the current's helping you, so you add the current. Okay, but this is a headwind and a tailwind. So the helicopter still has the same speed, x, but because it's a tailwind, we're going to add the 15. We don't know anything about the time, so we just leave that blank. The distance that it traveled with the headwind, that was 378. The distance it traveled with the tailwind was 486. So what we have here is we have t equals distance over rate. So that time is 378 over x minus 15. But now where does it say it? Right here, in the same amount of time. So t is the same. It's the same time to go the 378 miles as it is to go the 486 miles. It's the same amount of time. It's just that you're going farther with a tailwind because the tailwind's helping you move along. So my second row tells me that the time is equal to distance over rate, which is 486 over x plus 15. But this time and this time are the same. And so 378 over x minus 15 is equal to 486 over x plus 15. That's the equation. Now you can multiply both sides by the LCD, or as we talked about in another video, you could cross multiply. And so when you do that, you're going to get 378 times x plus 15 equals 486 times x minus 15. This is a proportion up here. Proportions are special equations where you just have a numerator over a denominator equals a numerator over a denominator. And then you can cross multiply. Now I'm going to distribute 378x plus, and I don't know what that is. And so I have a handy thing called a calculator, 378 times 15, and I'm getting 5,670. Then on the other side, I'm going to distribute 486x minus, and I don't know what that is either, so 486 times 15, 7,290. Now I can do these by hand, but it's just faster if I use the calculator. All right, so I got to get x on one side, and I got to get the number on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 378x and subtract 378x. Yeah. All right, we'll just do it in two steps. 5,670 equals, well, it's late in the day, so 486 minus 378, 108. Sometimes when we have these bigger numbers, we just pull out the calculator. Minus 7,290. Now, when I get done with my answer, I do want a positive answer because this helicopter should not have a negative rate. Okay, so and I'll feel good if it comes out nicely, you know. Doesn't have to, but I'll feel better. Okay, so I get 108x on the right, and then 069, 12,960. Let's divide by 108. I'll have to check my math. Did that one by hand. But I'm about ready to find out. Like I said, if it comes out nicely, I'll feel better. It's not a guarantee that it's the right answer, but I'll feel better. Ooh, came out to be 120. Okay, can a helicopter go 120 miles an hour? I don't know, it sounds reasonable to me. It didn't come out to be a negative number, and it didn't come out to be like 5,000 or something. Okay, so I think that helicopter travels at 120 miles per hour. I think they just want you to put the 120, but that's what the answer means. Okay.